human brain, I expand it out. Let me go back to what I learned in Psychology 101. I know I'm kind of ping-ponging, but I will put the pieces together. I remember at Psychology 101, I just thought, how weird that our whole society system is built around almost denying and punishing the right brain emotional processing, like that's a bad thing, and everything, relationship therapists are about rules, and it's about rules, and this is the way you. And I remember thinking, like, well, what if you grew up in a different culture than me, and you have completely radically different rules, and you come to America and you get an American relationship counselor telling you shit that your religion, be like, no, that's against our religion, we can't do that. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, is it really about rules?
Okay, so if you've been following my videos in the past few months, I mention a lot about how a narcissist's number one goal is to get you over into your left brain to follow the rules, okay? Because the left brain processes through rules, structure, and organization. The other thing is, I've also mentioned quite a few times, is that narcissists have invaded every area of our societies, from churches to government to the corporate world to even psychologists and therapists, okay? So if they can get you out of your right brain and put you in your left brain, now they can tell you what to do, and you would do what you were told, like little boys and little girls, because that's what the left brain does. The left brain just says, well, what are the rules? The left brain does not think for itself. A narcissist's worst nightmare is for society to wake up and open up to the right brain, because the right brain is the self-thinking brain. The right brain literally thinks for itself, and the right brain is the relationship brain, the emotional brain, which is what relationships are about. They're not about rules. So growing up in the 80s, graduating from high school and going into college in the early 80s, all we heard was how 50% of all marriages end up in divorce within 2 years. So I was just thinking, like, well, clearly rules are not working for marriages and relationships, because it's about relating to each other. It's about emotional bonding and emotional connection. And when you are constantly be taught, well, it's about rules, rule number one, rule number two, you are leaving your emotional connection. So it's not about rules. And you'll never understand someone through a set of rules or through logic. You will understand people once you can connect to yourself, your emotional base, and then you can tune into them. And that is what I teach in my course. I do not teach a set of rules. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what your rules are. All I care about is, can you learn how to open up your right brain and learn how to speak the internal language so you can be on the same page and actually relate to each other.
And as I told you, I was reading one book. This, if you've been following the series, you'll reflect back to this. All right. I was reading this book. Everyone recommended it. It was a big book at the time, and I'm reading, like, okay, don't do this when a woman does that. When a man does that, give him a space. Don't do that. He'll come out when he's ready. It was like a book of rules, and I got so fucking pissed. Like, what, I got to keep in my back pocket every time I deal with a girlfriend or wife. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? Like, a bunch of rules versus being in the present moment. When I opened up and I went through my awakening, I was in the present moment. All of a sudden, I could see that my girlfriend was in a bad mood. I could tell that if I said this, it would hurt her feelings, for example. There's a good story. And I teach this in men in my Cracked Female Code. Everything I'm teaching right here, this whole thing, this is Cracked Female Code. This is a section, probably 10% of it, okay? The course for men is very long because I have to open men up to the third dimension because their mating system is connected to her right brain to 3D processor, not the 2D. If you're in your 2D brain thinking logic, you're going to turn her off, and you can actually make her feel tired and exhausted, and life becomes very boring. The 2D world is boring as fuck. The right brain is fucking awesome. So all of a sudden I noticed, okay, I knew that if I was going to say this, then that would hurt her. I was like, oh no, I better not say that. Or, oh, I need to say this, but in this way, then she'll understand. Like, because here's the difference. When you're in your left brain, you think and you talk, And women will tell men, why don't you think before you talk? No. What women really mean, guys, because she's talking about right brain thinking versus left brain thinking. But in our society, whenever you hear the word, well, you need to think, most people automatically think it's logic. No, she means emotional processing. This is what do they call this? Emotional IQ. There is such thing as emotional IQ. I don't even care about what that book that was written back in the 90s. I'm not even talking about that.
So a lot of times men will blurt stuff out thinking, oh, this is a good thing to say, or this is a good thing to do, only for all the women in the room to get upset and pissed off, like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? And his wife or girlfriend said, why don't you think before you talk? And he's thinking, well, I did think before I talked. No. What she means is right brain emotional process, meaning feel what you're thinking before you say it. And then you might be like, oh, that actually would hurt my feelings because I'm in front of this room of people, and even though it sounds nice or my intentions are good, that would actually humiliate me if someone said that to me. So it technically means feel what your words and the meaning would be before you say it. And if it feels off, then you might want to rethink it and then feel it again. And if it feels good, then say it. And ladies, you might be wondering, why do you have to say this to men? Because men don't do this. It's not part of our natural way of being, but we can learn how to do it.
About that. I know from living in my right brain and processing this way every fucking day, constantly, you become very intuitive. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So I'll give you a perfect example of a left brain, two-dimensional thinking dude. He goes to this party with his wife, and most people there are married. They're all they're maybe 30, 35 or something, or even 40 or 25, whatever. And they're, let's say a group of them are in the kitchen, some are in the living room. So it's a group of like 30 people or more, maybe 40. It's a party, birthday party or whatever. And we'll call the guy Tom. And he talks to Sally, who's single. And there's a group of people in the kitchen. Some people are eating and washing. And there's kind of a semicircle where 8 or 10 people are talking. And Sally likes this guy that's across from her that's also single, right? And so Tom looks at Sally and sees that she's overweight. Well, because Tom is two-dimensional, he's looking down a tube, and everything is either or, like a lizard, right? I didn't even wrap that story up. Let me wrap that up, and I'll finish this Tom story. Where is it? Where are you? Maybe it's over here. Oh yeah, it's over here. So remember when I was talking about the lizards? Like imagine these are lizards, right? This is called either or thinking. It's like you literally and have you ever known lizard, what are those chameleons, or is that what they're called? Their eyes kind of pop out like this and they're looking like that. A lot of narcissists, their eyes will bulge out, okay? It's just like a lizard. That's how you know someone's in the reptilian brain. I'm serious. And like I said in the past, when their pupils are small and come together, kind of narrow, about 1 millimeter or 2, that's how you know they're extremely left brain and probably reptilian brain. So when two reptilians come up, like this was supposed to be like a little, what do I call it? A little bug basically that was in between them, right? And they're both looking at each other, and it's a little tiny bug. And here's the reptilian brain is called the fight or flight brain. Sorry, I know I keep taking my glasses off. It's called the fight or flight brain. And it's instinctual. And it's very narrow. It literally is the limited mindset. There's no thinking going on at all or creativity at all. So what happens is this lizard looks this way and this lizard looks this way. It's called either or thinking. Either I get the food or he gets the food. So I must kill him in order to get the food. Now do you notice narcissists rage when they don't get what they want? They flip their shit. Because in the narcissist mind, they're operating off the reptilian brain, which is like, if I don't get that, it almost triggers a fear state of I could fucking die if I don't get enough food, and they fucking I have to have that. Here's the thing. In reality, especially in America, probably most Western countries at least, you could literally be homeless and people will give you food. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you can get food anywhere. You could either beg for it or you can go to There's governmental organizations. There's money for it. They give it to you. You could walk to a restaurant. There's food fucking everywhere. Okay, I'm not saying that go be a homeless person, but the point being is like to flip out over not getting your way is so two-dimensional, so reptilian. It causes a panic, fight, or flight mode where they like, I have to fight this person now. And here's the thing. If a narcissist was listening to this video series, they'd be like, that guy's so full of shit. Because when you're operating off your reptilian brain and processing communication through your left brain, all you see is either or, literally just like a lizard. It's like they got blinders up. I say this to women all the time. I'm like, have you ever noticed some men that got like blinders up? I'm like, what do you mean? I go, they go, oh, you mean like racehorses so they can only see straight forward? I'm like, exactly. Like, oh yeah. And they also giggle and say, yeah, we can manipulate it because you can do stuff like this and like this because you got blinders on. You can't see it. You get it? So one of the things that men don't know is when you lower those blinders, yeah, you're going to get scared at first. It's like one of those animals that's been raised in a zoo or whatever their whole life, and they take them out to the wild and they open the door and the animal's like, fuck that, I'm not going out there. Fuck what? And here's the thing. It's like they want to go out there, but when it comes to it, they're scared. Therapy is a lot like that too. I've gone through it and my clients have gone through it. They're like, I go, but you're afraid, aren't you? Like, yeah, I know. It's like, but that's what I want. And it's like a lot of times in therapy, you get to that point where it's like, you kind of just have to jump. But you feel safe in your little cage, even though you don't want to be in a cage. And that's what's happening to a lot of humans on the planet right now. We are all popping out of our cages a lot. I've led the path for many decades now, for 2.5 decades. This year it'll be 2.5 decades that I've been out of the cage. People are starting to open up, and it's scaring them. Like, whoa, and they'll close back down. Just like some of my clients, when I do that opening thing, when they open up, like, wow, this feels good. And then after a minute, like, fuck that. And they close up. It's a process. You have to learn how to do it. So this either or mentality is like, well, if I believe this and you believe that, well, you can't do that. You got to believe what I believe. You got to be just like me. It's got to be this, right? It's kind of like going to an ice cream store. And let's take Baskin Robbins because they're called 31 flavors, right? Well, they got more than 31 flavors now, probably like 57 flavors or 58 flavors, maybe more. When you walk in there, a man will just pick one flavor. I mean, not a man, not all men, but I mean, people are, I should say very left-brain people. They'll get 2 scoops of vanilla. That's it. Well, a woman or a right-brain person goes, can a scoop of vanilla and then a scoop of raspberry and a scoop of freaking cherry on top of it, and then put some chocolate, what drizzle and some sprinkles. Want to get some ice cream out, don't you? And a lot of times you'll see friends just sit in ice cream store and watch the boyfriends or the husbands just be like. And I've actually heard a man go, you can't do that. And she's like, do what? You can't get 2 different flavors. And why? Well, I don't understand. It's because he's looking through this fucking narrow view of life. And that's what narcissists will do. I remember my last one would literally say to me, well, you can't believe that. And I remember I was like, whoa. And I'm an NLP trainer. And there's a huge segment where we talk about rules, values, and beliefs. And when someone tells me I can't believe something or think something or value that, it makes me go, what? And I literally laughed and go, oh, really? I can't? Oh, okay. Sure, man. That was bizarre. And that was one of the red flags, like, oh, something's not right here, right? So either or thinking it causes you to believe, okay, here's an either or thinking. If you're happy, then I can't be happy. Narcissist. My ex-girlfriend came to my door one day, and how do I say this? She was in a really good mood. She was all dressed up, and this is 2 different times. I'm going to combine both stories into one. And I was in a really good mood, and you know what? Back then, when I was younger, in my early 20s, I didn't like going to the mall. I hated shopping. I was one of those dudes. I fucking hated it. Oh my god. And because I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to match clothes. It was almost like an uncomfortable. And I didn't get the whole mall concept. Like, why do you go to the mall? But when I opened to the right brain, so you can socialize with people, because the right brain's about socializing, and socializing became very mentally stimulating, which narcissists don't have, and they want to take that away from you. So she comes to the door. I open it up. I'm in a good mood. She was in a good mood. Hi, honey. And the minute she saw that I was smiling, it was instant. It was obvious. And I'm like, what's wrong? You were happy like 1 second. What happened? Nothing. And I brought her inside and I said, do you believe that if I'm happy that you can't be? This is called either or thinking. Duality. Do you believe that if I'm happy, you can't be happy? She goes, yeah. Like, why? She goes, what do you mean? I go, sweetie, you can be happy and I can be happy together. This is called and in both thinking. This is left and right and lower reptilian brain. It's what bugged me in psychology, because they're like, no, it's got to be left brain logical, not reptilian, not instinctual, and not right brain emotional. No, your intuition, okay, watch this. Your intuition comes from opening up to the right brain and being connected, well, I shouldn't do it here, and being connected to your reptilian brain, which is it's your nerves, it's your five senses. So your right brain processes and tunes in, connects in, but it has to connect with the animal body. Your body is the animal part of you. Got it? And it also processes the emotional part. So when you have all three brains open, it's like your computer is completely fully on. Your computer would work like shit if you're like, well, I can't use the visual card right now. I'm only going to use the hard drive, or what do they call it now? I'm trying to blank on it. We'll just stick to the old term, the hard drive. Well, you got to have your hard drive, your audio card, your video card, your memory card. Like, everything has to be turned on, and that's a fully functioning system. So when I was in my first year of college in Psych 101, I thought, this is ridiculous. Like they were pushing down the right brain. They were pushing down the reptilian brain. I thought, there's a reason God gave us all of those things. It's not supposed to be either or. And right there is really what this whole video is about, is the whole either or thing. Most people will choose one of the brain, left, right, or the lower reptilian. And that's it. And anyone who's not like that, they're wrong, and they're just stupid, and they're fucking idiots because they don't think the way I think. Hey, this is Mike Colling at MikeColling.com. The next video series, I promise you, I will talk about the spiritual gifts, and I will wrap up the story about Jesus and the sacrificial. When you're going to learn about, you know what, when I wrap it up, about sacrificing all the animals and Jesus for your sins, you're going to be shocked at what you learn. I promise you. I promise you the next video is going to shock you. See you in the next video. God bless you.